Okay. A bit of an impromptu... Hello? Testing? Yep. A bit of an impromptu stream today. Just to keep the hype rolling. Let's just check all my socials. Okay. This is actually a bit bright. Let's just bring the brightness down. That's better. Okay. So today, welcome to the stream. We're going to be focusing on the RG35XX H and the RG35XX Plus today. And we're just going to do a quick stream to show you what's on the stock firmware, what MuOS is like, and then also what MinUI is like. So let's just have a quick game of this, just to as a warm up, just while people are coming in. I can see some people joining the stream now. Hopefully, oh yeah, that's better. It's more aligned. Yep. So nothing too strenuous today. We're just gonna look for a few games and then, well, we're gonna look mostly at the menus and things actually. And I do have an N64 focused video for the RG35XX H coming, so I look forward to that one. Oh, this level's running at 40 FPS. It's unexpected. Hope you guys have got your orders in for the RG35XX if you're interested in it. It is a cool handheld. I've been enjoying it quite a lot, and I actually like it a little bit more than the RG35XX Plus, which is a bit odd actually. I still like the Plus, but I find myself really liking the H, even though it's not that different. I do like the H quite a lot. And I know that the RG35XX H has been getting a lot of... you know what, I'm just going to call it the H for now. The H has been getting a little bit of bad press from Retro Game Corps. I think because of this, the D-pad movement where you can sort of flick it from left to right, or the Contra test as he calls it. For me, I don't play that many games like... in that style, so I guess if you're playing like Pokemon, or you got some diagonal issues, some games where you need to use a lot of diagonals, that's going to be a bigger issue for you. Or if it's really bothering you, then what you can do is you can do the Capcom tape fix, where what they do is they open up the handheld and then basically put tape around the D-pad contacts, and then what it does is it makes it a bit less sensitive. Which is something what people like to do on their ANBERNIC handhelds. Let me just see if I'm centered here. I am centered. Okay. So if you want to do the Capcom tape fix, then you probably need to do that on this handheld. A bit like the original RG35XX as well. Okay, we've got a couple of people in here, so what we're going to do is we're going to show off some MuOS. So how do I do this? I've forgotten what I'm doing. I'm going to press the menu key and start to exit. I'm just using the stock OS right now, which I kind of like actually, apart from the weird background. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut down the handheld. Video not in focus. Oops. Video not in focus. Should be okay. Thanks for the heads up though. I'm not using the autofocus, maybe I should turn it on. Where's my autofocus? Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe I should start the stream all over again. Maybe we'll cut this bit out. Yeah, I'm distracted by a lot of things. I mean, I'm a bit busy recently and I've not been fully on. Yeah, you're right. Okay, autofocus is on. Yeah, sorry, I think the camera was on manual because I was recording something else. Anyway, okay, so let's get into it. So the topic of this stream is custom firmwares and the official firmware, what's on the handheld. So we're going to start with the more hardcore stuff, actually, and then I'll put something else on where we're going to look at what games you get with the stock firmware. So what I do, right, is, yeah, we're going to need autofocus as well because we're going to be sort of showing you around the handheld a bit more. Right, where's my MuOS? Right, so I've got MuOS loaded onto this SD card, this Samsung 64GB. So I tend to use 64GB cards just as the smallest ones because they're kind of cheap. So with MuOS, let's show you around it. So I believe MuOS, all it does, right, is change the front end, and it doesn't change anything like the GPU or the RetroArch cores or things. I don't think it does that. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe if someone's going to jump in and tell me, but MuOS, you start it up, it shows that M logo, which they keep changing actually. They keep like randomizing their logo or just trying out different ones. And then you get this main menu. So some of the features are not quite implemented yet. So like shuffle game, and there's a couple of other small things which are not quite ready yet. Like I don't think we can do anything with the Wi-Fi, for example, or the Bluetooth. But MuOS is already up and running. What I've actually done is I've got the latest version for the Plus, and I plugged it in. And then what you can do is you can navigate their like content. So what their content is like their top level folders. And it's quite cool because within the ROMs folder of MuOS, what you can do is you can associate a core with it. So these can be named, whatever you want. It could be MuOS Bananas or whatever, or MuOS N64. And then what you do for a specific folder is you set a core, like a RetroArch core, to be to run all of the games under that folder. So for this one, obviously, because it's running Doom, because the content in my folder is Doom, and I've got the Doom shareware game in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down there, go down here, set the core, press Y to set the core on the folder, and then I'll obviously put Doom. So what you do, I think these are all set up out of the box. These ones that you get, they're just on the card when you flash it for the first time. MuOS looks like this. You can put little box arts here as well for the systems. And I think you can put box arts for the games as well, yeah. So that you got your box art for Doom shareware here. So as you can see, it's like very simple. Like it's more simplified compared to the official OS, and they've done that for a good reason, because the official OS is a bit sometimes it doesn't quite make logical sense, and I like it. I mean, I like MuOS because, you know, you don't really want the menu to get in the way of the games, right? You just want to, you know, you've got two main things are you've got your favorite games that you keep sort of going back to. I want to keep playing Tetris, for example. I like just playing Tetris for a couple of minutes. And then you've got maybe some games that you're working on, like an RPG or something, story-based game. That'll be in your history, and then you can sort of just look between, and then you can look in the full catalog as well. So I quite like the way that he's or the team's laid it out. In the extras folder, we've got a bit more. There's a few more settings here. Like, I think some of these may not work, like the HDMI. I'm not sure if that works yet. There's like an option to set up the battery indicator, because this has to be done manually. You can even make it set up, you know, go straight to the last game that you played, for example. So that means, like, if you do a shutdown and then you start up again, it's going to go directly into the game that you were playing. So that's like another way the menu sort of get out of your way and make it simplified. They've got various other themes. Like, if you don't like this default MuOS theme, you can go like Commodore 64 style. You can go Cyberpunk. They all have a background image as well. To be honest, I don't quite like some of these. I think they're a bit too flashy. But I like the more boring ones, like the dark blue or the default MuOS. I quite like those, which are just, you know, solid colors, or just a little bit of, you know, accent colors, and you've got some grays and things like that. I don't really like the flashy ones. You can change the date and time, so that's a bit of an essential thing for the games, because it has a real-time clock, obviously. SD card tools, not really tried that. I think it's for testing your SD card, see if it's if it's messed up or whatever. The input tester is like testing all of the buttons, which is kind of useful. Right now, this particular build that is public does not have the analog sticks functional. But I've actually talked to the developers on this, and I've helped them get the analog sticks working, because they were asking me if I could send them the firmware, and I sent that as the official firmware. I sent that over to them, and with a bit of work, I think they're able to get these sticks and the L3 R3 working, which is very cool. They did that really quickly, and kudos to the MuOS team for doing that. So that I think that'll be in the next version, which is version 9. Version 9 of MuOS. Right now it's 8.1 preview. So in the version 9, we should have support for the sticks. All right. So what else have we got in here? You can directly launch RetroArch if you just want to skip all of this menu stuff, and then you can, of course, reboot and shut it down. So I don't think they have sleep support yet, which is a bit, which is probably something they're working on, you know, on the RG35XX Plus and H. And when you shut it down, I found this a little bit weird, where you have to, when you press shut down, you need to wait for this screen and then head over to let's just wait for it to shut down, and then you need to actually press the button to confirm you're shut down. So it's a bit like shutting down an old PC, which is kind of funny. Something cool you can do with okay, I didn't realize it had a theme for the picture as well, the end picture. What you can do with your RG35XX H card is you can take, if you have both for some reason, I'm sure some people will buy both, but you have a RG35XX H, you take your MuOS SD card, and then you put it into your Plus, the operating system, the TF1 slot of your Plus, and then turn it on. Literally, it will just work as if it was, as if it worked on, as if it was the same. You know, it's the same card. So it will just work with all of your saves, all of your games. Oh, why did it start this? Okay, that was unexpected. It loaded my Apotris save for some reason. But I was playing that earlier, and then yeah, here we have MuOS with the same games or the same ROM list which I was looking at, which we were just looking at on the RG35XX H. So one card, two systems. If you happen to own a Plus and a H, you can use one card between both handhelds, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that's what MuOS is about. If you want to simplify your your emulation menu a bit, then you can go ahead and try MuOS. And I'm sure they're going to develop it more with some more features or more themes. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. All right, so the other one we've got today to show off, which also I talked a little bit to the developer of, is called MinUI. Now MinUI is quite popular, I think, because I posted a picture of MinUI working on the SBC Gaming Reddit, and it got like 100 likes or something, 100 upvotes. So I think MinUI is pretty popular. It's pretty popular. But MinUI, there's not that much to it, to be honest. So what I've done here is I've installed a lot of games on here, and there's also like an extras pack, a tools pack. But this is MinUI. Like, you can see how quick it started up, and how easy it is to get to your games. It's extremely minimal. So compared to MuOS, which we were just trying out, it's basically extremely stripped down. You just want to play your you don't care about box art, you don't care about anything. You just want to literally, I mean, it doesn't even have favorites as well, actually. It just has a history, which is this recently played. Like, I just want to literally get to the game that I was last playing. Nokia N8. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so MinUI, you just literally start the card up, and then you're into this black and white yeah, you're into this black and white simple menu. And what the developer of this OS has done is they've basically I'll just show you it here. They've put out a RG35XX Plus build, and this also doesn't work with the sticks yet, but it's quite cool. I like that the Plus build also works on the H, and I would guess that they're working on the working on trying to get the sticks working, and then also having this compatible with the H officially, because it would say Plus and H, I guess, if he's done with it, or if he's ready with it. Just going to show you a game here. So we'll get into Tetris DX, which is I love playing this game on Game Boy Color. So with Tetris DX, it's gonna I'm just gonna pause it with the function menu up here. The menu button up here, and it gives you this MinUI menu. You've got your save states here, so you can save, and then you have about 8 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 save state slots that you can save and load, and then you have an options which is specific to the console that you're emulating. So if I press this options, I'll come here, and then I can see like the front end is going to be for this Game Boy Color system that I'm emulating right now. So I have it on aspect, so it's going to fill the screen but not stretch it out. So you can have that full screen option if you like to stretch things and your you like that full screen look, or you can just use the native pixels, which would draw like a pixel perfect image there, which I don't really like. I think it's too small, so that's pixel perfect. Or you can go aspect, which is what I prefer, filling the screen in aspect ratio. Or you can do Johnny B with a thumbs up. Excellent, great, thank you for watching. Full screen, which I don't like, which is actually, it don't look too bad, but it will just stretch out the screen. So not a big fan of that, but yeah, it's there. So all of this is going through the RetroArch options, but I really like something I like about MinUI is I really like how he's brought out the most important options and made them very simply laid out here. And then he's also added like just a description which is like in plain English, because sometimes in RetroArch, you remember some option or something, and then it's like bloody hidden away through 2 or 3 levels, and you can't find that option. You're digging around for it, and it just takes so long. Whereas MinUI, he's kind of cut out all the fat and just said, okay, so you just need these options. Yeah, here they are. And I really like that about MinUI. It simplifies the experience a lot, the user experience. And then in the emulator menu, you have the machine specific, or you have the system specific options. So with GBC, Game Boy Color, we can change things like the palette, the Game Boy palette, so we can go through all of those. So it'd be nice to have a preview of it, but I mean, I'm always using Special One, or these other ones. If I'm using Special One, if that green look, that trademark Game Boy green look. I don't really touch any of these much for Game Boy, so I just leave them as is. But you do get the system specific options in this menu. Then controls, you can rebound your controls. You can add turbo or your previous palette to the buttons here. Shortcuts, if you save your state a lot and save and load your states, say like a difficult platformer or something, you need to save the state and come back to it. You can bind those to hotkeys. Like you can even make them like menu and plus, so you can hold the menu button and press a button, so it'll be like a combo basically. So I do like that. And then you can also save it for the entire system, the console, or you can save it just for the game that you're playing right now. So I'm playing Tetris DX, for example. So it's quite cool. And basically on, I think last weekend it just came out, like this MinUI. So it's really cool that the handheld's just been released, and we've already got some viable UIs besides the stock firmware that we can use. Let me just show you what it looks like in a different game. So Tetris DX was on Game Boy Color. I think let's go for Super Mario All-Stars and Mario World. So yeah, this is what it looks like on a Super Nintendo game. So similar, same again. But we've got, if I move into the emulator menu, for example, you can see there's different options there because that's specific to the Super Nintendo, and it's very it's much more simplified than using a RetroArch. You do lose some of that flexibility, but if you just want to play a game and you want to give this to a kid or something, and you just want it to work, then I think MinUI is really good because it's just really simple to use. So another cool thing is that with MinUI, what you can do is you can press the power button and it will sleep the handheld, and then you can bring it back. I think you can even like make it resume the game from total shutdown as well, which is very cool. Obviously, very simplified, very streamlined. Something we do lose is the support for the higher end systems. So MinUI doesn't support Dreamcast, and it doesn't support N64 or PSP, which are all systems that you can play on this. I think N64 might come, and N64 and Dreamcast might come later if somebody works on the what they call pack files, so pack extension files they call it in MinUI. So we don't have access to those higher end ones unless somebody comes up with them. Whereas on the MuOS, which I just showed a couple of minutes ago, that's basically just a wrapper over the retail firmware, over the original stock firmware. So it's a bit more fully featured, and it's got more of the features of the original firmware. Okay, well, and it's got also sleep as well. So that's pretty cool. So MinUI, I know it's a bit big. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but I know that people really like this because they find the stock operating systems a bit too flashy, a bit too complicated. And if you just want to play some old games, MinUI is really a really good choice. Really good choice. I think MuOS is a bit more like it's kind of like an in between. It's like a Let me just shut it down properly. It's more like a stock OS replacement. And for a power user, which probably, you know, if you're watching this channel, you're probably a bit more of a power user. To be honest, you might want to use MuOS instead. Oops, did I just? Maybe I pulled out the card a bit too early there. Oh, that's weird. It showed me the end. Oh, and have I broke my card? Oh, that was weird. It kind of saved the... Wow, that was weird. It saved like the shutting down screen, which maybe I pulled out the card too early for the other from the other time, and it's brought me back to that Apotris game. Okay, so for the next part of the stream, what we're going to do is before everything goes wrong and it all blows up, I'm going to do something a little bit boring, and I'm going to go through the stock firmware and just show what games come with the handheld. I know this is probably a little bit boring for some hardcore members of the community, but I get a lot of questions about this, like what games that come with your, you know, you buy the RG35XX H, or you buy the RG35XX Plus, what games come with it? And ANBERNIC, oh, have I broken it? Okay, so this is the stock firmware. ANBERNIC do provide you with some games, and I'm just going to go through them all because, yeah. And I'll make it a bit more interesting, and I'll tell you my experience with those games as well. Okay. Okay, so Alicius Chan, welcome to the stream. Thank you for watching. Magical Panda, hello, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining again. I know this is not going to be the most interesting stream, but I think it's probably has to be done because I do get a lot of questions about this. Okay, right. So what systems do you get with the RG35XX H? When you buy your system from ANBERNIC or from AliExpress or wherever, Temu, when they start selling it, it comes with a 64GB card and a 128GB card. I only have the version with the 64GB card at the moment, and I have that plugged into the TF1 slot, the operating system slot. And these are systems that you get with it. PSP, OpenBOR, which is Beats of Rage. It's like side-scrolling fighting games. DC, Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast. PS, PlayStation, of course, Sony PlayStation. CPS1, which is a arcade system. Basically, it stands for Capcom Play System 1. So it's the first board or motherboard that was developed by Capcom. The second one, number 2, and the third one, number 3. Neo Geo, also arcade games, but it did come to the home eventually. I think it was bloody expensive as well. FBNEO. Now, FBNEO stands for Final Burn Neo, which is another arcade emulator. H.Brew, which I'm not quite sure what it is actually, but these are arcade games. MAME, which stands for Multiple Arcade Machine Emulator. vArcade. Now, vArcade is a special folder where all of these games are meant to be played in a vertical orientation, and they're all arcade games. Pico 8. The Pico 8 is, it doesn't actually exist in like a physical, it wasn't a physical handheld or console. It's what they call a fantasy console, which was, it was kind of made up, and they made up the specifications for it, and they made up the programming language for it. I think it might be Python or Lua, is it? The programming language. And basically, people started making games for it because they had a really good development environment, and it's cool to make these like 8-bit games in Pico. So this is Pico 8. Poke. So I think Poke stands for Pokemon Mini. So I never had one of these, so I'm not quite sure what it is. But from what I gather, it's like a little LCD, a little LCD gaming thing with really small, like 1 or 2 inch screen. Atari. This is the Atari what is it? 2600. Yeah, 2600. VB, the Nintendo Virtual Boy. GW. So GW is the Game & Watch, the first Nintendo LCD gaming consoles, gaming handhelds. GBA. So GBA is the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. FC, which is the Nintendo Famicom, or the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, as it was known in the West. SFC. This stands for Super Famicom, but obviously in America it was the Super Nintendo, and what you see there is the Japanese and the European controller style, whereas the American one had the light blue and the blue buttons. MD is the Mega Drive, the Sega Mega Drive. So in the Japan and European regions it was called the Mega Drive, but in America, North America, it was called the Sega Genesis. MD CD, now the Mega Drive had a CD attachment, and these are all the CD games for it. SMS is the Sega Master System, so that was the system before the Mega Drive, or the Genesis. GG, the Sega Game Gear, so that's a... it wasn't Sega's only exclusive handheld, I believe. They did make another one called the Sega Nomad, but it played Mega Drive games, I believe. And then on the next page, we have the GBC, the Nintendo Game Boy Color. The GB, the Nintendo Game Boy, the OG one. I think it came out 1989 or 1990. That was my first handheld. That was the first handheld that was given to me. So fond memories of this one. PCE. So PCE stands for PC Engine. It's the TurboGrafx-16 in North America. PCE-cd is the CD-based games for that system. NGPC is the Neo Geo Pocket Color. WSWAN is the WonderSwan or WonderSwan Color. I think there was like a monochrome and a color version of it. The MSX is a computer, I believe. That's why you can see like a big keyboard there. I'm not sure where this was released actually. I think it might have been popular in Japan. And I don't actually know how the MSX came about or what it is. But I think it's mostly famous for Metal Gear 1 and 2, like being the system with those two games on it. The NDS, of course, the Nintendo DS. ATOMISWAVE is another arcade platform, but it's based on the Dreamcast. So there were some arcade exclusive games that were using Dreamcast hardware, slightly souped up, slightly upgraded Dreamcast hardware. NAOMI is also the same. NAOMI is a souped up Dreamcast hardware for the arcade. Ports. So ports are basically random PC games, PC or personal computer games. And apps, we have several apps to sort of manipulate the RetroArch configurations within there. So the configuration of your simulation or emulation. Okay, Jarrell, with the comment about N64. Yes, this is absolutely right. So in if you just give me 1 second, actually, I have the full list. I may have the full list of systems that this supports, but you might have noticed that there's no N64, and there's also no Sega Saturn in this list, which is because they don't give you any N64 or Sega Saturn games. Now, what if you take the SD card and you plug it into your computer, it's actually got way more systems on it. So I've got a list of all the systems. I can probably put these in the YouTube comments or whatever, but if you put that card into your computer, it's going to have way more folders than what I just showed you just now. So the most notable ones I will say are N64, of course. Sega Saturn, and I think those two are the big ones. Definitely the big ones out of that list. Yeah, just yeah, those are the two big ones. So we've got N64 support, which I'll show you maybe a bit later, and then we have the Saturn support as well. Okay, so something we're going to do next is we're going to go through all of the games that are in it. So on the PSP side, what do you get? You get Bloons, Bomberman US, Castlevania X. So Castlevania X is a port of the PC Engine game. I think it's pretty good. I pretty like that. I do like that game. God of War Chains Olympus. You get this, but it doesn't work that well on this handheld. Vice City Stories, similar case. Doesn't work that well on this system, I'm afraid. It's okay, but it's maybe just about playable and not that good. Mega Man Maverick Hunter, it's a 2D side-scrolling game. Metal Slug XX, it's a 2D side-scrolling game. Should work perfectly. Pac-Man Championship Edition should also work great. Ridge Racer works pretty good, I believe. Tekken 6 does not work that well, but runs. Tekken 5 works very well, and yeah, it should be the one that you play out of these two. So that's all the PSP games that you get. You don't get that many, but to be honest, the screen's a bit too small actually for PSP, so I'm not a big fan of it. OpenBOR, you get these games here. So I don't know what any of these are, but I think they are more kind of homebrew games or custom games, which people have made up, because these are like all fan-made games or fan-made packages for Open Beats of Rage. Dreamcast. Okay, so on Dreamcast you don't get that many games either, because obviously they're large games. Cosmic Smash works quite well. It's quite a cool game actually. Crazy Taxi 1 and 2 should work reasonably well. I think didn't have any problems with it. Gauntlet Legends, not sure, but I think that's quite a cool game actually. I've played a little bit of that. House of Dead 2, Ikaruga, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Power Stone 1 and 2, Silent Scope, which is a great game with the sniper rifle in the arcade. Soul Calibur works really well. I've played that game a lot. Virtua Tennis works okay, maybe like 50 FPS, 40-50 FPS. PS, so you get a lot of PlayStation games. So let's just go down here. Oh, you do get Biohazard. So that's Resident Evil, of course. Some Breath of Fire games, Broken Sword, Castlevania, Colin McRae Rally 2, Insane Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart, Duke Prison, I don't know what the hell that is. Dino Crisis 2, you get Final Fantasy 7, and I think they give you all 4 discs. They give you the full, free discs. Sorry, Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto 2, Kelowna, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. So this is quite a good range of PlayStation games actually. You get a lot of the big ones. Now CPS 1. I think you get the full collection here. There's 30 games, and they're most of the big hit. Probably the big hitters here are Street Fighter 2, right? And Final Fight. Yeah, so they're the big CPS 1 games that you're probably going to want to play. CPS 1, did I say? CPS 1, I meant. CPS 2, you've got some side scrollers, you've got some fighting games, you've got 1944, 19XX. These are the big games. Dungeons and Dragons Shadow of Mysteria was excellent side-scrolling game. Darkstalkers, Hyper Street Fighter 2, I'm not sure which one that one is. Mars Matrix, excellent game. Shooter, vertical shooter. Marvel Superheroes, these games are not fully named here, but they are there. Marvel vs. Capcom. Street Fighter Alpha, or Street Fighter Zero as it was known in Japan and Asia. You get 1, 2 and 3 of those. Super Street Fighter 2, so Vampire Saver, Darkstalkers, so X-Men as well. So CPS 2, really a lot of the classic era of Capcom fighting games, Capcom side-scrolling games. They're really, really, really good. some basically timeless classics there. CPS3, the library was really small anyway, and I think it's got all of them actually. So you got the JoJo's games, Red Earth, which I tried to play on the RG Arc a while ago, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. You got a Street Fighter 3 as well, Third Strike. Neo Geo, so you're gonna get. I'm not that a big fan of Neo Geo games, so I don't know too much about it. But you do get the big series like Art of Fighting. You're gonna get Metal Slug in here. Fatal Fury, sorry, yeah, Fatal Fury's here. Garo Mark of the Wolves, this big Neo Geo game. King of Fighters, lots of King of Fighters games. Last Blade, that's another big one. And all of the Metal Slugs, yeah. So the Metal Slugs are really, I think they're the most popular Neo Geo games that everybody knows about, besides King of Fighters. Yep, so let's just go through here. So yeah, you can see how many games in the corner here that I'm not gonna read all of them out, but I've already, yeah, I'll go through all of them just so you get Windjammers. I'll go through them all so you at least get an idea of what you get in the package. FBNEO, so this is gonna be a mix of all of those games because the FBNEO emulator was a bit more accurate and a bit more, I think it's a bit quicker, I believe. And it's going to be kind of a mix of those games, which we just saw those arcade. Oh, actually, okay. So there's 473 games here. And it's basically the arcade games, which are not CPS, not Capcom, and not Neo Geo. So there was a lot of like other companies, obviously, like Taito and who else? Taito is the only one I can think of right now, but there are, yeah, this is like just a mix of games. It looks like arcade games. Yeah, so you might get some repeats in here, but there's a lot of arcade games. Yeah, Mortal Kombat, that's a big one there. H.Brew, so I'm not sure what the H.Brew folder is, but I'm guessing it might be arcade games which have been modified, or they've been like these people have taken a real arcade game and they've kind of put some new graphics on it or some new modification or changed the game slightly. So there might be games where there's cheats enabled and they're not really pure arcade games or arcade games that you could play yourself. MAME is also a similar kind of case where they've just dropped a ton, 493 arcade games into that folder. And these are going to be games which the MAME software can run. So these are going to be from all sorts of eras as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Oh, Dodon Apache, big shooter game, great game. Double Dragon, yeah, this Double Dragon's a classic. This game is great. Escape from Planet of Robot Monsters. I played this on the C64. Oh, they got Espeluga on here. So this is a famous cave shooter as well. Espered, which is one of my favourite cave shooters, which I played on the RGB30 a while ago. Golden Axe Arcade. Yeah, some of the Sega arcade games are going to appear in this folder as well, the MAME folder. Okay, and then V-Arcade is where, what I was saying before, yeah, they've games that you're going to play like this, basically in vertical format. So they will be set up for that they should be set up with the sticks and the buttons. And then you can play these vertical games all together. So they're going to be repeats of games that you saw in the previous folders, but just with the vertical modification enabled. Pico 8. So I'm not that familiar with Pico 8 games, but and the big one is obviously Celeste. So I'm not sure if people have heard of Celeste, but it's this is like the original version before it was sort of popularized and it was ported to like Nintendo Switch and all of these big mainstream consoles. This is like the original version, which was, I think it was created in a game jam over a weekend or something like that, and that's the original version of it. And these are kind of like other homebrew games as well, which programmers around the world have made. Pokémon Mini, I really don't know any of these games, but you do get 28 of them. So I don't know how you could play 28. I don't know how so many games came out for this, but yeah, here they are. Atari 2600, so you get 104 games here. I'm not really sure. So this came out before my time, I'm afraid. So I don't know much about the Atari 2600. I know E.T. and Pitfall. Where is E.T.? Is E.T. not here? Oh, come on. That's a bit disappointing. Like, they didn't give you E.T. Because that would be a game which I would like absolutely expect to be on this on this one. And like Pitfall as well. Where's Pitfall? Yeah, they did. Okay, so that's a bit of a fail by ANBERNIC actually. They should have give you, like, if Atari 2600 has to have ET, has to have Pitfall. Virtual Boy. So another system I don't really know much about. But yeah, 23 games. Whoops. Let's go back there. So Game & Watch, you do get, I think, a lot of I didn't realize there was so many Game & Watch games. But the one that I had when I was a kid was Chef. So I had Chef when I was a kid, and I can't find it here, so that's a bit disappointing. And I had Octopus, which I also can't find here. Yeah, so that's a bit disappointing for me. So because I played those Game & Watch games when I was a kid. GBA, all right. So we got 232 games here. That is a lot of GBA games. Big ones are going to be Advance Wars. That's a massive GBA game. Castlevanias, massive 2D GBA games, which are brilliant. F-Zero, Final Fantasies, they're really good on GBA. Final Fight 1 was pretty good on GBA, I remember. Golden Sun, of course. What else do we have here? Some Zelda games. Some Lord of the Rings games, but I don't think they were too popular. A lot of Mega Man Battle Network games. Mega Man Zero. Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission. Mother 3 in English as well. Hello, Travis. So we're just going through the stock. Okay. So here's the Pokemon. So here's the question which I get all the time: what Pokemon games come with the device? Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby, Sapphire, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Pinball. That's what you get with the RG35XX 64GB version. Sonic Advance, Spider-Man, Speedball 2. I like Speedball 2 a lot. Played this back in the day on the Amiga. Great game. You do not get any, so most notable is you do not get any Mario games with this. You get a lot of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. You get WarioWare Twisted. That's interesting. That's probably one of the few Nintendo games that you get on GBA. 232 games. Okay, moving on. Famicom games. So what do we see here? 432 games. I'm going to quickly go through them, I think. So I'm not going to go through all of them. Castlevanias are here. Let's check if maybe like Zelda, some Final Fantasy is here. Is Legend of Zelda here? Legend of Zelda is there. So that's yeah, that's a big one. And yeah. Again, no Super Mario games out of the box on here. Super Famicom, 429 games. So that's a lot of games for Super Famicom. Again, we won't see Mario though. Earthbound is there. Earthworm Jim is there. F-Zero. Some Final Fantasies from the Super Nintendo era. What else is in here? Some weird Japanese games which I've never seen, which I've never seen before. Jurassic Park's pretty good. That's a good Super Nintendo game. Oh, Killer Instinct is here. Yep, Legend of Zelda is here. Lost Vikings is here. It's a great game. A couple of Mega Mans. So there's a lot of Mega Mans. Yeah, Travis, I think the stock UI is okay. It's okay. Perfectly usable, I think. Mortal Kombat is here. Mortal Kombat 2 is here. What else have we got? Pilot Wings. Big Super Nintendo game. Yeah, there's too many games really for the Super Nintendo. My thumb's going numb from scrolling through them all. Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana, Shadowrun, SimCity. If you like a bit of SimCity on the Super Nintendo. Smash Tennis. I don't think that rings a bell. That game. Star Fox 2 prototype never came out. Some of the Street Fighters, which I'm sure when we were kids we enjoyed playing Street Fighter with your family and friends. Super Castlevania 4, yep, great game. Super Star Wars, great series of games on the Super Nintendo. Terra Enigma, that's a big RPG. Not many Squaresoft RPGs. I couldn't see Chrono Trigger in here, so you don't get Chrono Trigger in this Super Nintendo list, but you do get like the offshoots, like the Earthbound and Secret of Mana. You get those Terra Enigma. You get those Super Nintendo top-down 2D RPGs in here. Okay, so that's all the Super Nintendo games you get. Mega Drive, 481. So I would expect you get most of the big hitters in here, like Sonic the Hedgehog, Final Fight. Sorry, not Final Fight. Streets of Rage. Comic Zone, that's a great game. I do like that one on Mega Drive. Dune, Battle for Arrakis, that was a Mega Drive exclusive, wasn't it? Some of the Earthworm Jim, it's big Sega games. Fatal Fury, what's Golden Axe? Yeah, sorry, Golden Axe. That's a good Mega Drive game. Yeah, well, these lists are starting to get huge, so I'm not going to read out every single game, but if I see a game which I recognise, and Revenge of Shinobi, if I see a great game, I'm going to pick it out. Yeah, so these are all the Sonic games that you get, so you get pretty much all of them for Mega Drive. You get Zero Wing. Okay, and then Mega CD. So we only got 11 Mega CD games here. Batman Returns, I don't think I've played that. Final Fight CD, we played on stream a while ago when I had the RG Arc, and I was introduced to this the first time. It's got a fantastic soundtrack. I really recommend this version of Final Fight. I didn't know this existed. Brilliant game. Hemdal, I think I tried to play this game, but I wasn't too good at it. So, I mean, some of these era of games are just bloody hard, really difficult. These two games, I don't know what the hell they are. Snatcher, I think, is connected to Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear Solid fame. Snatcher is pretty good. I've completed Snatcher. It's quite a good story. I do like that game. Sonic CD, I've not played that game, but obviously it's a big one because it's got Sonic in it. And WWF Rage in the Cage. I don't know what Time Gal is. So we're missing, I don't know if, is it Night Trap? I don't know if Night Trap came out for Mega Drive CD, but that's not there. Will it run Test Drive? So question here from Seekers Power Build Motor Mechanic. Will it run Test Drive Unlimited PSP? Saw it on R36S. Was like a slideshow. Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. If it was like a slideshow on R3, what chipset does R36S have? What CPU does it have? Does it have an RK3266? It's probably going to be similar to that, I guess. Game Gear, 328 games. I would guess that's most of the Game Gear collection. I don't really... Yeah, I mean, you're going to have your Sega flagship games on here. I don't really know of any, like, big Game Gear games. Yeah, sorry, the 3326. Yeah, I think this is meant to be slightly higher than a 3326, but I'm still not sure you can get perfect PSP emulation on it on because of course God of War Ghost of Sparta or God of War Chains of Olympus doesn't run full speed on this, so it's possible that we would Test Drive Unlimited would also be a bit rubbish on this. I might be able to try it out in later on in the stream. Just give me a moment, because we're going to get through all of these games, because I'm going to show off as much as I can. GG Game Gear, the big title might have been Mickey's what was it called? Castle of Illusion. There it is, Castle of Illusion starting Mickey Mouse. I think that was a massive Game Gear game. Okay, so I've got a couple more systems to go. GBC. Now, people are going to ask me what Pokemon games come on the RG35XX H. So I'm going to skip right to the Pokemon games. You get 375 games here for Game Boy Color. I'm not going to read them all out, but I will read the Pokemon ones out. Crystal, Gold and Silver, Pinball, Puzzle Challenge, Trading Card Game. That is what Pokemon games you get with the RG35XX H. Other notable GBC games, I would say, which I like, are Metal Gear Solid. I saw it here, Metal Gear Solid. And then it doesn't come with any Tetris games. You can see Tetris is just missing out of the Game Boy Color games. So that's probably some kind of legal issue, probably, which we won't talk about. 403 GB games. I will go down again to the... because Game Boy, you know, everyone wants to play Tetris on the Game Boy, of course, but I will look here again, and look here. Tetris is not available on the... it doesn't come with the SD card that comes with your RG35XX H. Let's go to the Pokemon section. GB, you get Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Yellow, and that's it for the GB. 403 games. PC Engine. Now on the PC Engine, you get 328 games. I really like I like Air Zonk. I like a bit of Zonk. Alien Crush. Not Alien Crush, it was Devil's Crush. I like Devil's Crush a lot. That is a PC Engine game that I love playing. And that China Warrior as well. I like playing China Warrior because I played that on stream before. Devil's Crush. This game is fantastic. 328 PC Engine games. And I think for the first time, you get PC Engine CD games. Now, these games are a bit... this is Rondo of Blood. Castlevania Rondo of Blood is a absolute classic. I finished this game a long time ago, a long time ago, and this is a fantastic Castlevania. If you like Castlevania, and I know some of my friends out there do really like Castlevania, play this one because it's good. I'm sure if you're a Castlevania fan, you've probably already played it, to be honest, because it is a great game. And you get Prince of Persia, which is bloody everywhere because of that free public domain version of it, open source version of it. R-Type Complete, which sounds pretty good. That might be a good version of that one. And Shadow of the Beast. So this, from that screenshot, this game doesn't look as good as the Amiga version or the Atari ST version, but it looks okay. Looks okay. At least there's Shadow of the Beast when you buy an RG35XX H. Neo Geo Pocket Color. Right, so 41 games. I think they may have mixed the monochrome. Oh, okay, so no, these are all color games. Yeah, these are definitely all color games. Yeah, these are just the Neo Geo Pocket Color games, and I like the card game SNK versus Capcom. I played that on the stream with the RGB30, the POW Kitty. WonderSwan, I don't know much about this system, to be honest. I did play... there was a vertical shooter that I played, and I played Gunplay EX before, and I quite like that one. And it looks like in this section they've mixed the... Mr. Driller is a big Namco game. It looks like they've mixed the monochrome and color games in one section. MSX, 299 games. So I had no idea there were 299 MSX games. The big one I knew about was Metal Gear 1 and 2. Now, I don't know how you play these games, because when you look at the system, right, it's a keyboard, and obviously I don't have that many buttons on this handheld. So I'm not sure what exactly it's like, how the binding works or how the keyboard works on it. But you can play, I think it had a joystick, so you can at least play that. Yeah, I don't know why there's so much MSX on this, because I didn't even know the system came out in Europe, so this is kind of a weird one. But the big one is Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. That is what I know MSX for. Nintendo DS. Sadly, they only give you 12 games, because I think the Nintendo DS is probably, it's a big system which probably a lot of people buying these grew up with. All we have is Animal Crossing, Biohazard, which is Resident Evil, of course, Final Fantasy 3, Lego Star Wars 2, Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects, Metal Slug 7, Need for Speed Underground 2, which we played, Nintendogs, Dash Hound and Friends. So I'm not sure if this works well. We do have a real-time clock, so we should be okay, but that might be, we'll see how that works on the emulated version. Ridge Racer DS, probably not the best version of Ridge Racer you want to play, but it's there. Amazing Spider-Man, Transformers, Dark Moon, Autobots version, I guess. I think there was 2. Lufia, Curse of the Sintra, so I don't know what that game is. It looks like an RPG or story-based game. So not many NDS games. I think they did this because it didn't have a touchscreen. But of course, the advantage of the RG35XX H is you have the sticks. And that's something that the RG35XX Plus doesn't have. So that's a bit of a... it's a big win for the H, because for NDS games, you can move your thumbstick around and you'll actually get a pointer on the screen. So these touchscreen, let's say you need to press a menu button or something on the touchscreen, and it's just like a little casual use of the stylus you need to do on these games. The sticks are perfect for that, I think. Maybe playing an entire game on a stick, on a pointer, is going to be a bit hard, but at least you've got the option. Whereas on the RG35XX Plus, you have to, they have a menu toggle for this now, so it turns the D-pad into temporarily into an analog stick, so it's a bit more fiddly. Whereas on the H, you've already got them there, which is good. All right, so ATOMISWAVE. We have 12 ATOMISWAVE games. I don't know what these are. I know what Guilty Gear is. Some fighting games from Arc System Works. King of Fighters 11. Wow. Okay. And I'm not sure what these other. Oh, Rumblefish. Okay, so that was another. I think it's another Arc System Works game. NAOMI, which is the Sega-based arcade. I think it might have been the last Sega system as well. Last Sega arcade system. Got Cosmic Smash, Cannon Spike. So a couple of these are Dreamcast repeats, but Guilty Gear X, Geiger Wing 2, Melty Blood, which we played the other day. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, of course. Project Justice, Sega Tetris, Toy Fighters, whatever that is. Finally, we have ports. So on the ports, we have Outrun, Cannonball, Cave Story, which is Cave Story is a great game. Dino Four, I don't know what that is. We have Quake, 3 mission packs of Quake and Quake the original game. Rick Dangerous, Supernova's Ark, which was a Doom WAD file. We don't actually have Doom itself though, which is a bit stupid. We have Wolfenstein 3D and the expansion Spear of Destiny as well. And then on the apps, I don't know what Arcade Core Auto Off is, and bezels on and off. I think I already covered that in a new user video where you can turn the RetroArch bezels on and off just with a toggle. What night mode does is it in RetroArch there's a brightness shader or there's a brightness slider. What that does is in RetroArch it turns that slider right down. So it's kind of simulates a night mode where your RetroArch brightness is really, really low. It doesn't actually affect the menus because they're not RetroArch obviously. But when you get in game, like you get an extra, let's say 50% brightness in the negative direction, minus brightness in the negative direction, which is it's okay. It's not super useful, but I guess if you do play at night in bed a lot, then there's an option there. Quick shutdown, I don't know what that is actually. Don't know what that one is. Shaders off. I guess it changes the. You have these like CRT or CRT effects and things like that. That would get rid of that. And then arcade rotation is for that option to do that, to rotate the screen. So these are all kind of like retro arch toggles, which you don't need to. You can toggle them from here, and you don't need to go into the configuration file. So it's kind of useful if you don't know your retro arch that well and you just want to trigger these functions on or off. So that's what the apps folder is. Right, so we've gone through all of the games on the RG35XX H. From what I understand, the card is the same card as the one that you would get in the RG35XX Plus. So this list should actually apply to that one as well, which is helpful for me because I don't have to go through the card again with the Plus in my hand. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, so for the next section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a bit more. I'm just going to bring up my notes because I have some notes about the two handhelds. Right, so let's say you have a choice. Let's say you've got you've got $70 and you're thinking, which one should I buy? Should I buy the RG35XX Plus or should I buy the RG35XX H? On the paper, they look the same. On paper, they are the same with the CPU, that is, the technical specification. CPU's the same. The memory's the same, 1 gigabyte DDR4, I think it is, or DDR3. The display is the same 3.5 inch 640 by 480 display. Why isn't my handheld turning on? It's the same internals. Oh, it keeps showing that at the end. Let me just boot up my. Let me just boot up my Plus. The battery is the same. It's 3,300 milliamps in both systems. So 3,300 milliamps is good for about 6 to 8 hours, depending on what you play. It's good for about that time. If you're playing like Dreamcast all the time, maybe it's closer to 4 or 5. But if you're playing a mix of games, then you're going to get 6 to 8 hours out of both of these. The advantage on the battery side is that with the RG35XX Plus, it has the removable battery. So maybe at some point your battery is gone. You know how batteries go. They get a bit. They get worse over time. You can always replace that one easily. The H is a bit harder to replace, but I think it's still reasonably easy. If you've got that screwdriver, it's a hex 1.5 screwdriver. And it's not too, it's quite common, like a jewelry or a watch shop should have that kind of screwdriver. You could probably get it in a supermarket or a hardware store, that kind of screwdriver to open this. It's not that, it's not like a Apple screwdriver or something like that. So if you want to replace the battery, then it's possible, but they do have the same battery. The charging time is also the same. So they're going to take the same amount of time to charge from the power. They use the same cable to charge, so it's both USB-C. On here you have the DC plug. They call it USB-DC, USB-C DC. Here you have a USB-C DC as well. It's this one, and it charges either from USB-C to USB-A or USB-C to USB-C. Both of them do that. The ports are generally the same. So you get a 3.5mm jack on both. You get a HDMI out, a mini HDMI out on both. You get the charging port, obviously. But on the RG35XX H, you get another port, actually. And I think you can use this port for an extra controller. So I've just actually noticed that. I didn't realize the H only had one port. Because I thought it had one on the top as well. But the sorry, the Plus had it has only one USB-C. The H actually has two. Can I charge with AC? AC, I'm not sure. Alternating current. All right, Wi-Fi. Okay, so both of them have Wi-Fi. Both of them have Bluetooth. Both of them have a vibration motor. So that's confirmed. The vibration motor is sitting around there on the RG35XX H. I believe on the RG35XX Plus, it's more centralized. So, I mean, it probably doesn't make that much difference because the whole thing's vibrating, but there is a vibration motor in both of them. The software is the same. So the software, as you just saw, the card actually works in both handhelds, which is really cool. It's, you know, it's not something that we really expect with just out of the box. The software just works on both because they're so similar. It does. The performance is the same. So they're using the same SoC CPU. It's clocked at the same rate. They don't generate that much heat, so there's no like thermal consideration. They both work the same way, so that in that respect the performance is the same. GPU is the same, of course. The weight is actually the same. So I thought the Plus was a little bit heavier, but it's not true. I think it's just maybe the balance of it is a bit different. Galactic Nerd asks, what's the battery life compared to the Plus? They have the exact same battery. So it's a 3,300 milliamp battery. They have the same battery. It's probably a different shape. Yeah, it is definitely a different shape, but it's the same battery. So it's about 6 to 8 hours, just general use, I'd say. If you're playing heavier games like N64 Dreamcast, that's going to be closer to 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. If you just played only Dreamcast and N64, just going to be closer to 4 or 5 hours. Mixed use, 6 to 8. All right, so what's different? So we went through the things which are kind of similar between the two handhelds. Now, what's different? The big one, the big one on the Plus is the D-pad. So with the Plus, they re-engineered the D-pad, and this D-pad I think has been seen on the the RG403V before, and I think that's where the first time ANBERNIC used this D-pad, and a lot of people really like this because it's a bit softer than normal ANBERNICs, and I like it as well. I think it's good. It needed a little bit of wearing in, I think, before it was like perfect for me. When I first got it, I think it was a little bit stiff. And I didn't get on like perfectly with it, but now I think I'm good with it. You know, I played a few rounds of Tetris, a few rounds of Street Fighter on it. I'm good with it. And the big difference about this one is it's got these rounded corners, and it's a little bit bigger. It's like slightly bigger compared to the RG35XX H. Slightly bigger D-pad. And it's got, probably because of those rounded corners, so it's rounded edges. So the whole thing is rounded around, all around it, and it doesn't come up as high. So it comes up a little bit out of the case, and it's got a good amount of travel down. It's got a good amount, like it doesn't sink right into the shell. You know, it doesn't get stuck or anything. But it gets down a bit more like a MiU Mini or something like that. This one, it's a bit more raised to D-pad, and it's a bit more harsh on your finger. When I played the RG, so Travis, are they both 4x3? Yes, the displays are both 4x3, and they are both 640 by 480 resolution. The D-pad on the RG35XX H, it's a bit more raised, and it's definitely like the original RG35XX. It is the same one. So I have a RG35XX H here, and it is the same D-pad. It is definitely the same D-pad. Even the height is pretty much the same. It is a bit more raised compared to the Plus, which people may or may not like. I find this one like You know what? I think this is slightly better for fighting games, but it does have that contra effect thing, which people don't like. Where if you do this, you see how I'm kind of already doing it now. I just hold the down button, and then I can tilt left and right. People don't like that. People don't like that. Whereas on this, it's less prone to that sort of left and right thing. Sorry, it's not a good example, but it's kind of it's still there, but it's not as pronounced. It's up to you, really. I think it's a person. For me, now some people say, you know, this is a deal breaker, but for me, I think it's more of a personal preference. Like, it's not going to stop me from buying a handheld. I think it's more of a personal preference thing, and that's difficult for you guys because, you know, you're not going to be able to buy both, are you? Or you're not going to be able to try this out. So it's a little bit of a shame. Do I have Contra to try the Contra test? I probably do. I don't like Contra. It's too hard for me. Contra is too hard for me. This bloody game. Right. Oh. Oh man. Oh, did I mess it up straight away? Oh, bloody hell. That was really embarrassing. Okay, let's let him drop. Okay, right. So it's that, isn't it? People don't like that. People don't like that. Now, I kind of play Contra like this. I play these kind of games like, I don't keep my thumb on the. Well, let's try and play it, man. I'm crap at this game. I bloody hate this game. Like, to me, like, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Am I stupid? How the hell do I get up there now? Like I can get killed, but like if I wanted to go down like this, I'm okay. Like I guess, yeah. Yeah, I guess it is an issue, but it's not. I don't know. So this one, it's a bit, you know, it's a lot easier to do this. A lot easier to move around, you know. It's practically not even, you know, it's not even there. Like the locking on down. If as soon as you touch it, it's just kind of like moving in that direction straight away. As soon as you tilt, you're moving. Like, let's try it on the other one. Let's try it on the other one. While I'm loading that up, I can go through the other differences. Right, so the buttons are different. So the buttons are slightly larger. The buttons are slightly larger on the Plus. Don't know if you can see that well, but yeah, they are actually slightly larger. Oh, how do I get both in there? That was terrible. They're bigger. Believe me, they're bigger. And it actually doesn't make that much of a difference. I think they're a good size on both, so I don't think the button size is a deal breaker either. All right, let me just quit this. And obviously, you know, on the RG35XX H, you get the analog sticks, which is a big deal, which is cool. Let's just kill MuOS, reset the button to shut down. What does it do now? The end. Okay, that means it's okay to eject, because I didn't do that properly before. Okay. Right, let's try a contra test on this one. ANBERNIC. Yeah, so you get of course you get the analog sticks, which come in really handy for hotkeys, or Nintendo DS becomes way more playable, I think. Becomes way more playable. Okay, let's do some contra this bloody game. If it was a choice between like a perfect contra test or a good contra test and good Street Fighter, I would probably take good Street Fighter over it for me. All right. Okay, we're in the jungle. Right, so this one, oh, do you know what? It's a bit, it's not that different, right? It's not that different. I'm pressing down, right? And I'm just tilting to the left a bit. Like I'm pushing quite hard. Okay, so that there is not triggering any diagonal. But it is on the right side, actually. It is more on the right side. So it's just, I think it's just like maybe 20%, like 10-20% less sensitive than the H. So to me, it's not a big difference. I'm not a contra expert, so maybe like this is unacceptable for some contra savant out there. But to me, this is not that bad, man. Come on. Come on. All right. What else are the differences? So that was a big section on the contra test. What are the other differences? On the RG35XX Plus, you get one speaker down here. You get one speaker. On the H, you get two in stereo. Now, they're not the best speakers in the world. And also, someone said, which is a good point, the stereo separation is probably not, the best in the world either. Because it's so, because the handheld is quite small, the stereo separation probably, it's not gonna, like, okay, so I have a TrimUI Smart here, and actually, bad example. Bad example. I have a KTR1 here, and the speakers are further apart, and this has excellent sound. I really like the sound out of the KTR1. It's really good, and it's got a bit more, obviously it's got a bit more, like, you can hear the left and the right a bit more distinctively. How it does. So it, even if though it's stereo, then it's still don't have that. But having said that, I think the speakers are good on this system. Sorry, I loaded the wrong card in. Speakers are really good on the RG35XX H. I do like that. Another thing you have on the H, which you don't have on the Plus, is of course you have the trademark ANBERNIC rubber pads. I mean, the Plus is a bit awkward to lay down on a table because it always kind of wants to like drop over, and it's a bit odd actually. But it's okay. It's not, it's not going to accidentally drop or do anything weird. But with the pads, like, I don't know, maybe you like playing an RPG like this or something, like, it works. It works fine. But I mean, it's a small thing, but you get to see those ANBERNIC pads. The other thing is like the colors. The colors are different. The colors that are available. I think these next points I'm going to give, because I do have a little list. They're a bit more subjective. So the colors that are available for the H are the transparent clear, the transparent purple, and the black. Now, when I got my unit from ANBERNIC, as soon as I got it, actually, I thought, oh crap, I should have got the black one. Because I kind of think the black one might be the best looking one, even though it's probably going to get, you know, some fingerprints on it. You know, fair enough. You're going to get some fingerprints on it. It's going to look a bit smudgy, but I think the black one, the solid color, looks really cool actually, and I kind of wish I got the black one. But I think as a second choice, the transparent one's cool. The purple, I'm not really into that one, so. But the yeah, the transparent one is cool. They're the choices that you get with this, the H. The Plus has the white, it has the retro, and it has the retro beige kind of, you know, with the NES Famicom style buttons. And then it has the transparent white, I believe. I think the pearl white, which I have here, is the best color. So if I had a black H, that would have been matching. But anyway, yeah. So the colors are going to be up to you. Like, I wish they did more colors or more fun colors, like kind of like how Apple, you know, does like iPod, or how they did iPod colors, or how they did iPad colors now, or even the cheaper iPhones. I kind of wish they have more colors available for these budget handhelds. Travis, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day as well. All right, so another difference, which is kind of subjective, is the menu key. So I like having the menu key here because it makes pressing the hotkeys within RetroArch really easy. I think it's cool that you can, you know, just press menu and Y or menu X or something to take a screenshot, or fast forward, or put the FPS counter, put the menu up. This one, the menu key is up here, and it's not unusable, but it is up there. You kind of have to, I guess, you kind of have to change your grip a bit, and it's a bit like, I'm not sure if I like that too much. Having the menu key up there, it's okay. I mean, I don't know where else they could have put it, because there's not much space on this handheld. And then of course there's another thing, the ergonomics. Like, the H has, for me, definitely has better ergonomics than the Plus. I do like the fit and finish, the comfort, the way, you know, it's just so easy to play, pick up and play. It's really nice. It's really nice. I do like that a lot. Whereas the Plus, it's a bit more cramped. And if you're not playing a shoulder game, then it's fine. Then I'm okay with like this. But you do get that, you know, there's something about playing in vertical format, which is like, you know, it's like I'm back in 1990. I'm back in 1989. And I'm sitting at home and I'm playing Tetris all day. That's the feeling that I get when your hands go into this position. Whoops. That's what I like about vertical. So that's a bit subjective. That if you want to, yeah, if you have that strong Game Boy need, then go for the Plus. 2 questions here. Galactic Nerd asks, have you tried Garlic 2 on either device? No, I have not tried Garlic at all on these devices yet. To me, it's a bit bare bones, and I'm not too interested in it actually until it becomes a bit more fully featured. But I do like these little, you know, these new smaller teams, or these new lesser known, maybe not the smaller, but lesser known teams like the MuOS and the MinUI people. I like that they're doing something different, because Garlic, I never really liked the interface for Garlic OS on RG35XX, so it might be something I try later, but we'll see. We'll see when it gets a bit more developed. Next question from Van Stein. Is there a port simulator on there? So yes, there is. So my H is actually running out of battery right now, but I'll show you the ports menu. There is the ability to run ports on here. And I think there are some RG35XX specific ports that can be loaded onto here. I mean, Doom's going to be definitely one of them, and Prince of Persia, you know, these kind of games. Maybe not something so advanced yet, like, I don't know, like Terraria, or, you know, these big PC games, or Stardew, something like that. Maybe not these yet, but I think there is a big list of RG35XX specific ports around. But something that we don't have is Port Master, so we don't have this yet. There is some interest. I think I read somewhere that the MuOS developers are looking into it, but nothing concrete about that. Maybe take that as a rumor for now. But that is something that people are interested in doing, but not quite ready yet. All right, Seeker's Power Build Motor Mechanic says nothing beats that Game Boy feel. Yeah, I kind of agree, and you know, it. I like both of these, which is a bit awkward. I like you know, I like vertical handhelds, and I like this one for just like you just pick it up and you just start playing. I think it's really cool, and that's why I think it's really suited to these, you know, these simpler operating systems, which I showed you at the beginning of this stream as well. I think it's really really suitable for that. But then the Plus has the big nostalgia factor, which is yeah, it hits you in the feels, as they say on the interwebs. All right, so we've gone through a lot of points around these two handhelds, and I hope you've got a good idea of like what these are about, because they're kind of like you look at the spec sheet and maybe you think, oh, these are actually the same, you know, same bloody handheld, but when you get them in your hand, they're a bit, you know, when you actually got them side by side, they're actually quite different. And I hope, like, I've gone through a couple of points that have helped you decide, you know, if you've only got the budget to buy one. I hope these points and these little anecdotes or whatever have helped you decide which one that you might want to buy out of these two. All right, so we did say, what was I going to say? So Test Drive Unlimited, maybe I will try that another day. I don't think I have Test Drive Unlimited. Oh, actually, maybe you know what? Maybe on one of these SD cards I have sitting around. So outside the camera, I have like outside the view of the camera, I have like tons of SD cards just sitting around. And we'll see if we got. So I've just put one in, and we'll see if we got Test Drive Unlimited on it, and that will be for Seeker's Power Build Motor Mechanic. So let's see. Come on, let's see. Yes, it is there. Okay, so do you know what? Seeker's Power Build Motor Mechanic, it's your lucky day, because what we're going to do is we're going to try Test Drive Unlimited on the RG35XX Plus on PPSS PP emulator, so we'll see if that works. Oh, and it, do you know what? The menu looks good. Hyperplay RPG, the headphone jack on the top, I completely agree with you. I think it's a bit awkward on there. I do agree with you. So what I have, while this video is running, I'll just quickly just answer Hyperplay RPG's question. What I had is a like a right-angled 3.5mm jack, and I find that a bit more useful. So it plugs in like this, and then it sort of has a right angle and goes out like that. So if you've got a pair of headphones that come out down, it's a bit better. But if you've got a pair of headphones that just stick in, it's a bit crap. I do agree. Whereas the Plus, if you have the ones that's coming out, I mean, it's fine, isn't it? All right, yeah. So just for Seeker's Power Build Motor Mechanic, I've said his name so many times in the stream. This is Test Drive Unlimited. I hope it. Yeah, I hope it doesn't need an analog stick or something like that. Do I want to go online? No, I don't. I don't want to go online.
passports and boarding passes ready for inspection.
All right, I'm gonna skip this intro. Do you know what? It's not too bad. 20. I mean, it's running at full speed. Running at full speed. The text is really small. It's really small. I'm having problems reading that, but I'm gonna play it like this because it's. I'm just gonna yeah. I'll show you like this because otherwise it's too small for me to read. Let me just try and stabilize myself just so it's a bit more. Yep. Okay, so that should be good. Right. So I think it. Oh no. I need an analog stick. Okay, I'm just gonna be able to drive in a straight line. Oh no. Can I? Oh man. Oh no. What did I just do? Okay, what I'm gonna try and do, right? Okay, that's not working. I'm gonna create a game config. Oh come on. Yep, and then I'm gonna create some controls. And then I'm just gonna map my yeah, this is what I want to do. I'm reaching for an analog stick which is not there. Oh, okay. Right, that's good. Right, okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Right, so I'm just going to drive around in free ROM. That might be a bit annoying, that driving mode thing, but I'm going to bear with it. But do you know what? I think this runs at full speed on the RG35XX Plus and the H. Even though I'm driving in the worst. Whoa, what's all that? Even though I'm driving in the worst way, I think it actually is okay. Yeah, and I don't. It's probably not the best. Probably not the best screen to play this on, but I think it's working all right. Like, okay, I'm just gonna bomb it down this street. Whoa. Okay, so I hope that gives you an idea of how it runs. I think it is better than the R36 H. Yeah. Alright, so on that note, I will end the stream there. Thank you very much for joining in. I know this stream wasn't like maybe the most exciting thing in the world, but I do get a lot of questions about these little technical things that people want to know, you know, before they buy their RG35XX. So I hope you find this stream useful, and I hope you've you know, used this information to inform yourself on which one you should buy, or if you should buy it at all, or what games that come with it, this kind of stuff. And if you like this content, of course, give it a like. If you want to see more later on, subscribe, and it'll pop up and it'll give you a notification of when I'm streaming. I know this stream was a little bit impromptu, but I'm pretty busy at the moment. I've got a couple of things going on, but I won't go into that. And yeah, it's been fun showing off these two handhelds to you. And of course, thank you to ANBERNIC for giving me these, for sending over these two handhelds. So these are the first two handhelds which ANBERNIC actually sent me. I've bought all my other ANBERNICs prior to this. I've got too many of them, but ANBERNIC have been kind enough to send these over before the release as well. So they've been really good in supporting the channel. So thank you very much to ANBERNIC for the support. And thank you to all of the audience as well. So take it easy, guys, and I'll catch you guys on another stream. Catch you guys later. I do have another video on the RG35XX H coming about N64 emulation, so look out for that one. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.